Hi team, it is Rachel from Clever Social here, and I am going to walk you through some rather big changes that are happening in the back end of Shopify in terms of its integration with Facebook. Now, you may have logged into Shopify recently and seen a whole bunch of pop-ups around you not being logged into Facebook, you're not being able to advertise on Facebook, you're not being able to sync to Facebook, and that is because that on the left-hand side of here where we have the sales channels, there has been an indication of Facebook Shop and Instagram. There's been two sales channels that have been sitting there. But this little guy popped up in addition to those ones that already may have existed for you months ago. And there's been, if you've ever clicked on it, some notifications saying, this will take over as the primary app for Facebook and Instagram, but no other advice around when to start setting that up. So in the last few weeks, I've had lots of people contacting me saying that all of their Shopify stuff was going wrong when it came to Facebook. So that to me was indicating that we need to start setting up the new app, even though no one told us to. So I have already clicked through one step of the setup process by clicking on this guy here, and it's asked me to log into Facebook. It's going to ask you to log in as you as a person. So one thing to keep in mind, Facebook always deals with us as an individual person, as our personal account. Our personal account has access to things like business pages or business manager or ad accounts, but we always log in as us. There's no such thing as logging in as a business. So as we can see here inside the Facebook channel, it's asking me to set up Facebook shops and Instagram shopping. And I think there's some stuff around making sure your products are appearing in Facebook so that you can market it, indicating to me that you'll be able to run some ads probably from Shopify in the future. I wouldn't bother, but it's a feature that you probably might want to look at some point. So let's kick off, shall we? So we're going to hit continue setup here. And what this is going to do is it's actually going to ask me to link all of my accounts up. So let's take a wee pause here for a moment, team. If you are not using Business Manager, or if you have set your Business Manager up wrong, you are not going to be able to connect this up effectively. You need a Business Manager with your ad account and your pixel and your catalog all under your Business Manager with you assigned to those assets as an admin. So if you have not done that, you're going to have problems at this point, which if you end up going around in circles, this may be your issue if you've already tried setting this up to date. So one of the key tricks for young players that we often see at this point is that you may have pulled your Facebook page into Business Manager, but you didn't pull in your ad account, you didn't pull in your pixel, and you haven't assigned yourself to those things. So it's not just pulling the assets into Business Manager, it's giving you as the individual admin rights to those assets. So as you can see here, it's going to ask me to connect my personal account, which will then let it know what business managers I have access to, what Facebook page, because I might have multiple Facebook pages under one business manager, what pixel. A commerce account is a new thing, which we'll talk about in a moment, and then I have to accept some terms and conditions. So I'm just going to quickly do that. Bear with me. So I've logged in as myself on Facebook and I've connected my personal account. It has then picked up that I've already in the past actually connected a business manager here. So it's actually auto picked this up. If you have multiple business managers, you're going to have a little drop down option here to make sure you've picked the right business manager. And again, it's gone through and collected all my information rather cleanly. But that is because that this is a new website. It's actually my own website. I set up the business manager correctly, and it's not very old, so there's not a lot of other stuff floating around in there, and that won't be the case for lots of people. It hasn't been the case for lots of people that I've worked with to fix this issue. So make sure that you have selected all the right pieces. If you can't select the right pieces, you've got a problem with your business manager. So you're going to have to go sort that, by the way. There's lots of people out there who are avoiding it, but you're going to have to do it. So pixel tracking here, this is really important. You're going to want to go onto your website and check in your settings, or by using the pixel helper little plugin, which is this guy here, to check that this is the right pixel, especially if you've been using multiple pixels or multiple ad accounts in the past or have multiple businesses. And then lastly, if you've been running ads to date, or you've had a catalog, or you've been using some functionality around Facebook ads and also product tagging, you possibly have a Facebook commerce account. So at this point, it's going to actually ask you, can it delete your commerce account for you and create a new one? And you're going to say yes, because I haven't actually done any advertising, because this is really just a site I'm playing with. I haven't got a commerce account, so I can just hit create and it'll be nice and clean. But don't be afraid to let Facebook delete and create you a new one at this step. So now it has created me a commerce account. I've got a nice little green tick. Now I just have to accept some terms and conditions from Facebook. So I'm going to do that. Bear with me, caller. So I have accepted those terms and signed my life away. So now I can finish setup. Now this site isn't actually live and published, so I do expect there to be some errors when this page loads, but essentially if your site is live, then you will be fine. You are ready to use Facebook Shop. So the thing that's great about this, and again, we can ignore this, my site is not live, we are going to see after your products load, so it could be 15 minutes, could be overnight, you're actually going to see any products that have problems. So now if you've had issues with tagging, not being able to see products, select products, this is actually going to indicate whether we've got a problem. Common issues include things like you can't advertise or tag hand sanitizer on Facebook. If you're using phrases like medical grade silicone, or anything that refers to the FDA, or products that actually aren't allowed to be advertised or shared on Facebook. So when we move into sort of supplements and things like that, there's some products in that space. Doesn't like hemp oil, hemp seed oil. So if you've got any of those things happening, this is going to flag it inside Shopify. Now, traditionally, this would have been flagged inside Catalog Manager on the Facebook side, which means that you would have to come back to Shopify and edit the product description so that the feed didn't just keep refreshing and replacing any edits you made at the Facebook side. So this is a much better way of doing things. It's actually a great update. So then you're going to go through the exact same process, and you're going to set up Instagram shopping as well. Now, once you've done that, you're going to have a little bit of a settling in period. I'd say you're going to need to give it 24 to 48 hours, and it's going to throw up any issues that it's going to throw up, and you should try and look at those and address those. Now, a lot of the issues, like I said, will be around phrasing, keywords that are like high-risk keywords, medical grade silicone, for example, and also just lots of people don't know that they can't sell their products on Facebook, that you actually, it's against terms and conditions. So this is going to illuminate all of that for you. And if you do pick up phrasing that may be in your product description that you think, oh, I wonder if Facebook's misunderstanding that, rephrasing, removing, you can then instantly see within a few moments whether it's going to accept that, which is fantastic. So this is your new hub for all things Facebook and Instagram marketing related. Now I'm going to throw in an extras for experts, and I'm going to jump into my business manager. So if you go to business.facebook.com and you have a business manager, this page will load, or you'll get a bunch of tiles if you have access to multiple business managers. So you're going to go into the business manager of the one you think is the right one, or at that point, you're going to have to set up a business manager. If you don't come to the screen, you'll be prompted to set something up. So once we're in here, if you're in the screen and you don't see an ad account and you don't see a page just sitting here like this, like I do, that means that either your pages and ad accounts aren't in your business manager, or you personally are not assigned to them. So you can only see this information here if you as a user you're assigned to those assets. And that's when we have to click on the blue business settings button. And I'm just going to do that now. And you need to go through the process of adding your page and adding your ad account. Now, if another business manager owns your page, either one a business manager that is yours that you just haven't managed to get into, or someone else owns the business before you, you're going to need to pull it out of there and get access to it in here, because you're not going to be able to add it. It's already claimed. So what you need to do is, as a person, I am assigned to these 3 assets. If I go further down, you can see I've got my page in here. I'm assigned. We've got under data sources, we have our catalogs, but let's go to ad accounts first. Ad accounts, I'm assigned. And as we scroll down the page, we can see all the things that we need to be assigned to. So I've got a catalog, which is how we tag products. I'm assigned. Pixels, I'm in here. I should assign myself. So I'm going to do that now. I'm going to click on the add people button. I'm going to click on my name, manage pixel, assign. So now I have access to all of the bits and pieces I need access to that are my assets, and that's what you should be doing as well. Now, you may have created in the past as well a business asset group, which is where you've combined all of these into a bucket. So you still need to assign someone the business asset group, but then usually you do have to continue and assign them to each thing individually. So a business asset group just allows us access to some other reporting, which looks at our assets holistically, so to report on ads, pixels, and pages in one report. which is why we put them in a bucket, in a group. So apart from that, that's all you really need to be doing. You need to make sure your page is in here, your ad account is in here, your pixels in here, your catalog's in here. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to set up your Shopify. So just a quick refresher, if you head to pages and you own a page, you can just go add a page, and then you can write in your page name and it will pick it up if you are an admin. However, if you do this and the page is already claimed by a business manager, it's going to say to you that you need to go and talk to the person who's currently claimed the page and get them to hand it over. Quite often it turns out that someone has this in a business manager and no one knows who. There's actually quite a lengthy process to get Facebook to release it and give it to you to claim. But please get in touch if that's you, because I've gone through it many times. You can request access to a page and bring it in here if you're an agency or you're wanting to access a third-party page for some other reason. But if you're a small business owner, you're the company owner, you need to be using this top function here. If you haven't yet gone through this process because you're a new business owner, you can create your page from in here, which is nice because it's all done from the get-go. But this is the hairiest bit that people run into problems. The second thing is if they have got their business manager in here, they've got through that hurdle. They haven't put in the rest of their assets. They haven't added their ad account. It's the same process. You click on ad account, you click on add, and you would add an ad account that you already own, or you would be requesting access to an ad account. If, for example, you have a business partner and you're using the business partner's personal ad account to run ads, and that's where you run all your ads historically, that's where your pixel is assigned, you would probably request access to their ad account and pull it into your business manager so you and your business partner could use the account and still have access to all of that data historically that you may have collected in that account. So things can get messy because most people don't start off running their business on Facebook with a business manager. But there are ways around that. There's also decisions we might have to make. You might have to decide, hey, we need to put a new pixel on their account because we want a new ad account. We want a new pixel for some reason because we don't have access. We need to start from scratch. So there are ways we can migrate you to getting everything into Business Manager if you've got a bit of a messy situation. So please sing out if that is you. I spend my life unpicking people's Business Manager problems. So that is a really high level, not super quick, but high level overview of Shopify and Business Manager and just how crucial Business Manager is now if you're a Shopify user. If you're not a Shopify user, you should still be using Business Manager, but you're kind of being forced to now by the Shopify Facebook integration. So I hope you learned something and that was helpful. Drop me a message, either comment below or flick me a DM, and I'd be happy to chat to you about anything that came up in this video.